So over the next week or two, I'm planning on revamping this entire studio, from my A-roll setup to all the accessories that I have to my main desk setup that I've been using for the past year. And before I do that, I wanted to give it its flowers by showing you guys exactly how I use my desk and all the different products that sit on top of it, because that's what runs this entire channel. I want to talk about the mainstays like the computer that I use, a monitor, the desk itself, but then also some smaller nuance and niche details that hopefully you guys can take away, maybe add to your setup, like magnetic cables, my USB-C hub, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's give this desk its flowers before we change everything up, and maybe leave a comment down below of what your favorite current desk accessory is, and maybe I'll check it out for my new setup. Let's get into it. But now before we continue, if you enjoy accessory videos like this one, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and help us get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. But now let's talk about the first thing, which is the desk itself. Well, alright everyone, I've been wanting to make a video like this one for a little while now, a little bit more of a casual vibe to walk you guys through what exactly is behind me. So let me know in the comment down below if this is something that you guys like or this style of video, but we're going to walk through every single aspect of this desk setup because I feel like for what I was using it for, it's pretty much perfect for my use cases and I absolutely love this desk. But let's start off with the desk itself. This is going to be the FlexiSpot Odin desk. I've used it for almost 2 years now at this point. The biggest thing with this one and the biggest selling point is that this is going to be a quad-legged sit-stand desk, meaning that instead of having just one leg on each side, it actually has 2 legs on each side, which really helps for stability when you are especially using it at the higher setting. So again, it's a little bit more on the expensive side. Everything that I mentioned will be linked down below with the best prices. But again, if you do want a very sturdy sit-stand desk, the FlexiSpot Odin, or just get yourself a desk that has 4 legs, because yes, it's going to be a heavier desk, so it's harder to move around and things like that, but it'll be extremely sturdy, especially at these higher settings if you like to stand around a lot, and it'll avoid that inevitable shake of your monitors, especially if you have them on arms and things like that. But that's going to be the FlexiSpot Odin. And now let's go from left to right on everything that's on my desk. So starting over here, you're going to see a lot of these kind of like white accent pieces, right? This is all going to be from a company called Ugmonk. They have amazing products, especially desk accessories. They're all about minimalism and making everything be super intentional. Their stuff is relatively pricey. You'll see this back here. This is also by Ugmonk, but I love the aesthetic. I love their build quality especially, and they're made in the US. But this is basically their catch-all, and it's all built on this kind of magnetic modular system. And you can see I have a bunch of little accessories here. So you have the main plate down here, which is a magnetic plate that lets you kind of move everything around. So this, you can lift this up if you want to, take it off. The magnets are super strong, so that's always good to know. But you can kind of rearrange them however you see fit. So I have this small little catch-all. I have some MagSafe kind of stands right here that I like to use. These are by Lumnu, and they have that little blade in there as well. I've mentioned these before in the past. And then I just have a bunch of random stuff in this catch-all. You know, I have the tape measure, I have the charge key by Nomad, for instance. I have Satechi's like AirTag competitor in here. It's just a bunch of little knickknacks. Then I have a bunch of actual pens down here, which is organized by this little wooden kind of zigzaggy thing, for lack of a better term. And then I have all my Apple Pencils and Apple Pencil alternatives that I'm always testing. That also sits in this little catch-all, and of course a little family picture and things like that. But that's going to be the Ugmonk tray or organizer. I forget exactly what it's called, but I'll leave it linked down below. And then behind that, I have the ESR 3-in-1 Qi 2.2 wireless charger. I absolutely love this thing for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's got a built-in fan with their CryoBoost, so it does keep everything cool to the touch, and it helps optimize your charging speeds so it never gets warm because of that fan that turns on. You also have an AirPods Pro charger on the bottom, and they also added magnets down there. So if you have one of the newer AirPods that has MagSafe, you'll never have to worry about alignment issues. It always charges. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with the issues of those wireless chargers for your AirPods that don't have magnets and you kind of just hear it in the middle of the night pinging because it's misaligned. That doesn't happen with this one. And then you have a modular removable Apple Watch charger behind there, which I like to bring with me whenever I see fit, but that all charges at full speed all the time. Beautiful charger to have. And they also have much cheaper options where the form factor and the modularity stays the same. You're just dealing with slower charging speeds. But this is their kind of top of line one, the ESR 3-in-1 CryoBoost wireless charger. And behind that, I have my Sonos Ace headphones. I've spoken about those ad nauseum for a long time. Love those as ANC headphones, over-ear ones. They're the best ones that I love and use. Again, I've never used AirPods Max. I hear they're great and things like that, but for $550, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on some headphones. The Sonos Ace, I think, are anywhere from $300 to $400, depending on when you can find them. And they're fantastic headphones, especially if you're in the Sonos ecosystem and you have something like a Sonos Arc. And those are also sitting on my Ugmonk headset stand. And now let's gravitate a little bit over here. Let me bring you guys a little closer. Bring you guys a little bit closer here to see what we're dealing with from a monitor standpoint. But over here is where the magic happens, right? You have a 2 monitor setup right here. I've spoken about these before. This is going to be the latest 5K monitor from BenQ. This is going to be their 27-inch 5K monitor built for Apple products in the Apple ecosystem. They have an MBook mode. Love this monitor to death, and I've been using it for a long time now, and I love BenQ monitors. You guys have seen the channel. And then to the left of it, or to the right, depending on how you're watching this one, but to the left of me, this is going to be the Sotsu 16-inch Elite Flip monitor. Now, this monitor is built to be a portable monitor. I have a full review on the channel if you guys want to check that one out. This is going to be the best portable monitor on the market, in my opinion. It's awesome, it's super well made, it's high quality, it's modular, it has a SD card built into there, it's got a mini HDMI port, USB-C pass-through charging, it can use the power of whatever device you're using, so it doesn't need its own power supply. Fantastic 16-inch monitor. It pretty much just looks like an iPad on a Pro Display XDR stand. It's expensive. I think it's like $600, maybe a little cheaper, $550, depending on which era you get, because this is the oldest one. They have a 4K model and then 120 Hertz model. This one is, I believe, 1080p and 60 Hertz, but still a fantastic charger, and it lines up perfectly with this BenQ monitor when in vertical mode. And then if I move the iPad down here, underneath it, I have my BlueAnt speaker. Now this, again, this was built for the iMac, honestly, or at least it was built for the iMac in mind, because you can sit an iMac right on top of here. This is also a monitor riser technically, but I just love the form factor. This has fantastic sound, fantastic bass. I believe now it's under $100. It started off, this thing is over a year old now, and I think it was $199 to begin with. But the BlueAnt speaker and monitor riser, you can use it via Bluetooth, you can plug it in via auxiliary cable, or you can do what I do and plug it in via the USB-C cable, so it's plugged in directly into my Mac Mini. Also, shout out to the people that recognize what this thing is. iPod Mini. This was my very first Apple product ever, by the way. Still have it. 4 gigabytes. What a time, what an era. But everything, like I said, is sitting on top of the Ugmonk monitor riser. This thing is insanely high quality. It's made out of this awesome metal. It's very, very sturdy. It is kind of heavy, but again, because Ugmonk deals with a lot of magnets and magnetic kind of modularity, this is awesome for something like this Sotsu monitor, because it kind of holds this Sotsu monitor in place because it is made out of metal, so it kind of just magnetically attaches natively, which is awesome to see, even though they have nothing to do with each other. And that's what everything is sitting on. And then it also has this little cubby down here with a little felt strip also. So I have a bunch of just miscellaneous things that I'm testing all the time in there. For example, I have my Even Reality glasses in here. If I want to pull those out, I am working on a video for the V2 version, or they're called the G2s, I think. We'll put these on for the rest of the video, actually. Hold on. So now we have these on, we can continue with the video. But again, I have a bunch of stuff that I'm testing in this cubby. I have a bunch of like smart rings, the Lumnu ring. I have another ring, the Renfo ring. So a bunch of just random miscellaneous things that I like to throw in there and kind of tuck away whenever I'm not. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind until I need it. And then we continue kind of forward. We have Orbitkey's XL desk mat. Now this desk mat, again, most people are like, oh, it's just a desk mat. What's the big deal? Whatever. This thing has features, and it's very cool. The first thing is that it's, again, very high quality. I love the white color, and it has this kind of flap here. So on the bottom of it, it's actually this felt finish, and this flap actually lets you kind of hide little things in here. So I have like little pieces of paper, birthday cards, little notes my daughter's written me and my wife have written me, just to kind of remind myself, you know, what we do this for and things like that. And then on the top of it, there's this little kind of like divot and strip where you can put things like my Apple Pencil. And again, this is magnetized. It comes with these magnetic organizers. It comes with one in the box, but I bought a couple more where you can just thread your kind of cables through there. We can thread your cables through there, make it very easy to find whatever cables you need. And then, like I said, there is magnets built into it, so I'm able to put my Apple Pencil in there. And even though there is a divot, so of course it's not going to go anywhere, Apple Pencil also magnetically attaches. So again, you might have noticed, but I'm a huge fan of magnets. And then if we continue on top of the Orbitkey desk mat itself, I use the Magic Keyboard, the small one, so the one without the number pad. This is actually an old one. This is still charges via Lightning. This has no Touch ID on it. I just love the Chiclet style keyboard, and I've tried so many different mechanical keyboards. I've tried the slim ones, the tall ones, the brown switches, the purple switches, the removable stuff. I mean, for some reason, I just always go back to Chiclet style keyboards because maybe I'm just lazy and I don't like lifting my fingers as much as you need to use a mechanical keyboard. So between this one and I believe the Satechi X1 Slim, I always just rotate between these two because they're just fantastic Chiclet style keyboards. And for right now, even though, yes, you can get a Touch ID one with USB-C, I just have no need to do that because this works perfectly fine and it still feels and looks brand new. And then of course we got to talk about the first computer on this desk, which is going to be my M4 iPad Pro with Magic Keyboard. Absolutely love this thing, 13 inches. I got the 2TB version with no cellular data, and that's how I edit all of my videos and edit all of my thumbnails. So again, if you want an iPad, the M4 iPad Pro or now the M5 iPad Pro is the best tablet in the world as it stands right now in 2026. And then you might have noticed that underneath the cubby, you can see an actual USB-C dock or Thunderbolt dock. Beautiful thing about this video is that a lot of these products I've actually reviewed individually, so I'll leave those videos linked down below if you guys want a little bit more nuance of all these individual products. If I talk about all of them ad nauseum, then this video is going to be like 2 hours long. But this is going to be Ivanky's FusionDock Max 2, and I've tried a bunch of USB-C and Thunderbolt hubs. This one, I've been actually really liking. It's a 23-port Thunderbolt hub. It can support up to triple displays. Again, I'm using a Mac Mini, so we'll touch on that computer in a little bit. So I might be a little bit limited in the amount of monitors I can do, but this thing is a powerhouse. SD card slot, micro SD card slot, Ethernet port, USB-C, Thunderbolt, everything that you would want, HDMI, DisplayPort. It's got every single thing that you would ever want, and the design is really cool. It kind of feels like it's floating because of the way that it's designed. So again, I recommend checking out the full review on the channel, but that's my current Thunderbolt or USB-C hub that pretty much controls everything on this desk. And then to continue what's on the Orbitkey desk mat, you can see that I have my Logitech MX Master 4. This is going to be Logitech's latest mouse. I never owned the Master 3 or the Master 2. I was actually using Logitech's Anywhere S2 and S3 line. Love those mouse or those mice, especially for the price. The best quality mouse that you could ever find for the price, in my opinion. But ever since I went to this one, I see what the hype is about. I feel like every tech YouTuber on the planet had one of these. And now with the MX Master 4 and the haptic feedback that it has and the scroll wheel and just the versatility that you can bring and just the ergonomics, fantastic mouse. If you guys are looking for a brand new mouse, get this one or even the MX Master 3, because the only real difference is going to be the haptics and some small subtle design changes. But if you can save some money and just get the Master 3, that one's going to be the best bang for buck in my opinion. And then on the monitor itself, you might notice that there's a couple things up here. So first, we're going to have the Halo bar up here. This is also by BenQ. This one is relatively expensive, but it connects very nicely with BenQ's ecosystem and their monitors. It has this wireless kind of like touchpad scroll wheel thing, which is very cool and futuristic. But there are some cheaper ones that kind of get you 70 to 80% of the experience. And then next to that, I have my OBSBOT gimbal webcam, because again, I have no webcam built into these. Mac Mini doesn't have a webcam, so I needed some sort of external webcam. I love this one. It sits up there. It moves when I move. It zooms into me when I need it to. It's one of those kind of like AI ones. Again, we reviewed it on the channel, but there's a couple of them. There's the OBSBOT Lite, and then there's the regular OBSBOT, both great, but this one is the one that sits on a gimbal and follows you around if that's something that you're interested in. And then honestly, to finish it off, we gotta talk about the computer that's been running everything since it came out, and that's gonna be the M4 Mac Mini. This is still a baseline M4 Mac Mini that you can currently get for like $499, and even Micro Center I think has it for like $449 maybe, depending on when you're watching this. But this is the best bang for buck computer on the market, still is, even 18 months later. The M4 Mac Mini is an absurd piece of tech because of how cheap it is and how much you can do with it at the price point, right? Like, it's insane. I've talked about the Mac Mini for a very long time and how I believe it's the best computer on the market just because of what you get for the price. So M4 Mac Mini, 256 gigs of storage, 16 gigs of RAM, still running everything amazingly. Again, I use iCloud and I use things like external SSDs like this Lexar one. I also have the Samsung T9, so I don't have much that lives on the Mac Mini itself. But again, it's nice to know that I can, for $400 or $500, have a computer that runs my entire business and my entire life. Absolutely unreal. And then some other little Easter egg and small things that I have here. For instance, down here, I have Spigen's little Apple Watch charger, which does mimic the G4 iMac from back in the day, but I'm not using it as an Apple Watch charger. I'm actually using it to hold a cable in here, so I can have a USB-C cable ready to go. And it's just cool that it has this kind of cool retro look, especially right underneath my iPod mini from back in the day. Also, I have these Raycon cables, which are magnetic, so they just remove from the USB-C hub itself and then magnetically attach because I put the little adapter on the USB-C hub. Very easy to use. So there's little things like that that kind of help me make my life a little bit more efficient. But that's my entire desk setup. Love my desk setup. I love everything about it, but things are going to change relatively soon. So stay tuned and let's finish up the video. So that was just about do for this video, everybody. As you saw, every accessory and product that I have on that desk has a purpose. My plan with this was to be very intentional and also have all the accessories that I need at pretty much arm's reach for the most part, from my headphones to the cases that I use to all the different accessories and even my little catch-all that I use all the time. So let me know in the comment down below what you think. And like I said, I am switching up my desk setup. I'm switching up my desk workflow and everything in between. So we'll have some videos talking about what's going on there. But one of the things to foreshadow here is I had a video where I recently picked up this MacBook Pro, and that's going to be kind of what's changing up everything, and also the desk itself, where I'm moving it, the monitor. So definitely stay tuned. We got some fun videos coming up. But that'll do it, everybody. If you made it to the end, leave a dolphin. Leave a comment down below of your favorite accessory, either from this video or from an old video or something that you use all the time that I've never mentioned before. And if you guys want to watch more videos like this one, check out one of these videos right here. Until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everyone.